What is up, everybody? It's Miltonacious in the house! Technically, it's an apartment. I haven't made a video in forever, right? So I decided to suddenly make a video of me doing a cooking demonstration for my segment of Miltonacious called Milt's Munchies, because I haven't really done a food review in forever since I've been eating a lot more than I could be able to review. So anyways, I decided to combine a couple of recipes I looked up online. Well, I utilized 2 recipes online to make some cottage cheese pancakes. Well, they could have come out better, but at least the visual demonstration is there. That's what counts the most. And so, without further ado, let's head on over to the kitchen, or should I say the actual video, when and where I cook these babies another day and another time, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. So, vámonos! Psst. Roll on the new intro footage while you're at it, okay? And we're back! Welcome to my tiny kitchen where I have limited space and resources and stuff to work with. It's not the best, but hopefully once I find my own place to live, I can have a better, decent kitchen. So anyways, on to the recipe. Now over here, I have some ingredients measured out and ready for us already. Let's take a look at what we're working with now, shall we? So what do I have laid out here in front of me? Well, of course we got our trusty cottage cheese, the star of the show herself. We got 4 lovely eggs. Whoop, that one's about to fall out. A mixing bowl. A trusty spatula, half a cup of oats. As you can see here, I level it out as a pretty good strategy to make sure I get accurate measurements. Might have not reached to the top, but that's fine. The recipe calls for quick cooking oats. I just so happen to have steel cut oats that I brought recently, and I'm certain they will suffice. And I also have some honey right here, that's like 1 tablespoon, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Because you always gotta have some vanilla extract in our recipes. Particularly pastry. Salt as well. Now, I haven't been able to measure out the cottage cheese yet because this recipe calls for equal parts oats and cottage cheese. This recipe also calls for egg whites, but what I'm gonna do is sort of deviating away from what the recipe calls for. What I'm gonna do though is the mixing process they asked for. But instead of in a mixing bowl, we're actually going to combine the ingredients together in a blender. In this Bella Rocket Extract Pro Plus right here. Well, that's quite a mouthful. And I'm certain we'll still be able to get consistent results. And of course, as a rule of thumb, it's a good idea to combine the wet ingredients first and then the dry ingredients and then mix them both together. But since I don't really have much dry ingredients, we're primarily going to be focusing on a lot of the wet ingredients today. So for now, I'm going to put my baking powder into the oats. And then we just have to separate the eggs out into their yolks. You can say yellows as well. I occasionally say yolks and yellows. I interchange them. So yeah, it's time to separate the eggs. Now, you could go for like the traditional matter of like cracking the egg in half and then going back and forth in between the yolk and the whites out, but I don't find that to be pretty nifty, even though it's traditional. So what I'm gonna use instead is this very cute witty looking tool right here. Oh, look how adorable he is. Take a look. It's quite convenient to have these little sort of things as well. So now, let's crack some eggs. As you can see here, the separator works pretty conveniently in getting most of the egg whites out. Now let me take the eggs out so I can use this bowl to store the yolks in. Hopefully none of these eggs roll out or I'd be in trouble. Let's get that out. I haven't separated the yolks from whites in a while, so I haven't used this tool in a while, so as you can tell, I haven't been in the kitchen too much. can suffice. Even if there's a little bit of whites left, that's fine. It'll still mix all together anyway, but you want to get like most of the whites out for like a pretty important process that's essential to like getting pretty airy pancakes. Okay, that's the last egg right there. Whew, that was lovely. Did you see that whole big dollop just fall right in? What's really helpful is that you should start out slow and then just build up momentum as you go along. If you see some bubbles, that's fine. That's part of the process of the egg whites becoming airy and fluffy white. You can't be able to tell now, but as I said, I'm starting out slow just to be safe. What you don't want to do is start off on a high speed right away so that you get egg whites splattering all over the place. We wouldn't want that happening, do we? As you can see, some bubbles are forming. That's actually part of the process. You can say foaming or forming. We're slowly and slowly getting white into the fluffy mixture that we actually need. This is really a helpful technique in separating the yolks and the whites to be able to use the whites like this in pastries. So what I'm doing pretty much with the electric mixer is actually beating some air into the egg whites so that it can actually be able to transform into this multi-purpose useful substance that I want. See, I'm beating air into it and that's why its mass is increasing. Sort of the same logic that like yeast would if you mix in a pizza dough and leave it in the dough for some time now. We're almost there to the consistency we want. The way you'll know that these meringues, well, not technically meringue, this fluffy egg white substance is ready, is that when it's done, when you're done beating air to it, sorry, I'm stuttering. When you're done beating air to it, you should probably get some peeps when you lift the whisks up. This is a lot of air I'm actually beating into it. Almost done. Now I need a bigger mixing bowl. I think this is actually pretty good enough. Let's stop for now. Oh, see the peaks right there? Lovely, isn't it? It's perfect. You can also see the peaks in the bowl. If you can tell, half a cup of that low-fat cottage cheese. We should be able to have that much. Wow, that's just perfect. Absolutely just perfect. So now, I want to combine the wet ingredients together. Avoid the egg whites for now because that's its own thing. Well, the wet ingredients will look like this for now, but once we put that in the blender, everything should be able to come together really easily. The egg whites we'll put in last because if we put the egg whites in with the blender right now, it'll overmix and the airiness will be lost. So, I think this looks pretty good for now. It's actually interesting to see like what kind of mixture I need. Let's seal this really tightly so you don't want anything leaking out.